Hi Gemini, I'm Ronique and welcome to Scorpio Soul Time. I hope you're doing well. Today we're going to talk about the month ahead for October 2022. This is a great opportunity for you to look ahead as well as when you're in the month and even after you've passed through the month to be able to look at the astrology dates that are at the beginning of this video as well as down in the description box below to get a better idea of what's coming up or what you have went through. October is a very dynamic month for the collective. So if this is your first time here, welcome. This is where we talk about astrology. We look at the aspects and transits, as well as pull some tarot cards to see how this energy, vibes with you and your sign. I do invite you to watch your sun, moon, and rising sign or any other zodiac signs that you have a lot of personal planets, especially those signs. Take a look at those too. So Gemini, like I've been telling all the other signs, October to me is probably one of the most pivotal dynamic months of the year because we are going from this energy that felt to me, the energy has been moving progressively throughout the year, but once we got to like August and September, it felt like there was kind of like a little slowdown. And once October comes, everything almost gets ignited, if you will. There is no longer any slowness occurring. And that's partly because 3 major planets go direct in October. So when we open up the month, October 2nd, Mercury turns direct in Virgo. October 8th, Pluto turns direct in Capricorn, and then later on in the month on October 23rd, Saturn goes direct in Aquarius. So that's already this forward momentum energy that you can feel building, but there's also a lot of other dynamics of October. One of them is Saturn squaring Uranus, October 3rd through 6th. This has already been potent energy over these last 2 years. So this will be really interesting to see what comes out of that Saturn-Uranus square. And then later on in the month, we have some really important information going to come in because we have that new moon partial solar eclipse in Scorpio on the 25th. Right after the sun moves into Scorpio, Venus moves into Scorpio, and Saturn turns direct in Aquarius on the 23rd. So that is a lot of energy, you all, going on this month. So just be prepared for that. And then we round out the month with Mars actually retrograding in your sign in Gemini. So let's take a look, Gemini, at what the energies are for this month. We'll pull 2 cards per week, and let's begin. All right, so for the first week, you got the 7 of Pentacles. Many signs are getting that 7 of Pentacles. And you're getting the 6 of Wands in reverse. So possibly something dealing with your job, some type of congratulatory news possibly coming in on a project you've been working on. Second week of the month, we do have the Page of Pentacles upright, as well as the Moon card upright. The third week of the month, we have the 7 of Wands, and we have the World card in reverse. By the time we get to this third week, Gemini, this is when all that major activity is happening with the eclipse, with Saturn going direct, as well as Sun and Venus moving into Scorpio. So really pay attention that third week of October. And then we round out the month with 8 of Wands, lots of information flying. And the Hangman. Looks like you're going to be enlightened by something because it is in reverse. I love to see the Hangman in reverse because it means you're not stuck anymore. You kind of like have almost like an epiphany or something comes to light by the end of the month. Some type of information is going to find you by the end of the month. So really good to see. Okay, Gemini, so let's take it week by week. That first week of October, like I said, we do have Mercury turning direct in Virgo on the 2nd, that Saturn square Uranus, October 3rd through 6th. Pluto turns direct in Capricorn on the 8th, and then we have that full moon in Aries on the 9th. So lots of energy around movement, around direction. To me, it looks like there's something you have planted possibly in the past that you're being celebrated for. This can be an entrepreneurial venture that has grown wings and is doing very well for itself. You could have a new client, and maybe that client is celebrating you for getting them their first, project or first launch of a project or product. This is really nice energy. With that Six of Wands in reverse, it could be something that has been a long time coming. That's kind of what I'm feeling like. This has been something that maybe you did way back ago and you're finally getting the recognition for it. So just be prepared for some good news coming in that first week of the month. And that could also be because Mercury has been retrograde for the last 3 weeks. So maybe now you're actually getting some information back on something that you already started. By the time we get to the second week of the month, Gemini, we have Page of Pentacles and the Moon card. So that week we are actually experiencing Mercury moving into Libra at this time, the Sun trining Saturn, Mars squaring Neptune, and then Mercury finally exits its retrograde shadow on the 17th. This Moon card to me is symbolizing a lot of that murkiness or not clear energy that the moon tends to portray. The Moon card is more like things are still in the dark or still hidden. Maybe all information hasn't quite come out yet. The Page of Pentacles to me though is kind of piggybacking off of that first week when you're still getting more information possibly about that project, that position. Someone is coming to you with an offer, but be careful with the Moon card because now that Mercury is finally out of its retrograde shadow on the 17th, there still might be some details that haven't been conveyed yet. Just make sure you do your due diligence because there's some kind of offer coming in, possibly for a raise, possibly for a new position, but make sure you read the fine print. I'm just kind of getting this like it may be too good to be true type thing, and that can also be that Six of Wands. Like maybe you're being celebrated for something, but you don't really know the entire picture yet. So just be careful with that. Once we get to the third week of the month, Gemini, this is where we are at the Sun squaring Pluto on the 19th, Sun conjunct Venus on the 22nd, and then like I said, October 23rd is kind of like the big day. Saturn turning direct in Aquarius, Sun and Venus moving into Scorpio, and 2 days later on the 25th, we have that new moon partial solar eclipse in Scorpio. And you can already see here that something possibly you were thinking was finished is not. It's not complete as maybe you were hoping that it was in the past, and you're feeling like you're having to do a lot of work on your own. And to me, this still symbolizes something from your job, something from what you do on a daily basis. Maybe you're feeling like you've had to hold it down all this time with no other help, with all the Seven of Wands. You're trying to do it all on your own. You thought that this was maybe an issue that was in the past, but it's still here. Especially with that solar eclipse in Scorpio, just be prepared for possibly some kind of truths coming out, something you weren't really clear of in the past. To me, I keep getting this sense, Gemini, throughout this entire reading, like there's something kind of hidden or you don't know all the information. And I say that because you got the Moon card, you have the World in reverse, and then with that Six of Wands, it just feels like maybe they're congratulating you for a job well done, but the whole picture hasn't really been conveyed to you yet. And maybe you just start finding it out around that Sun moving into Scorpio time. So just be prepared for that. And like I said, it continues. You have the Seven of Wands and now you have the Eight of Wands. So more information coming out, more wands flying, but you do start to see, like, it's almost like the writing is on the wall and you start getting this aha moment by the end of the month. End of the month, we do have Jupiter moving into Pisces. Mercury squares Pluto. Mercury actually moves into Scorpio during this time. And by the 30th, Mars retrogrades in your sign, Gemini. So while you have some enlightenment, it feels like you're really bogged down with all the details, with all the information. You're just like, I couldn't believe all of this information is now coming out. So I would say, Gemini, make sure you guard your energies this month. Make sure you're taking time for yourself. Take a look at your sun, moon, and rising sign just to find out if any of these same themes resonate with you in other aspects of your life. Okay, Gemini, I hope you all have a great October ahead, and I'll talk to y'all later.